Now the parameters themselves don't have to be just one parameter. Okay, we can have multiple parameters. Okay, and let's just look at that. So again, we want to define a function. Let's just go def to do def, that's a keyword. Okay, and then let me say introduce. Let's call it introduce. And now which parameters do we need for introduction? Name, age, we can go school, we can go occupation, we can go on and on and on, but let's just keep this simple because we are trying to learn a concept, we need it to stick. Okay, now we want to print, so this time we are not returning, we are going straight for the output. Okay, and I mean that's a pattern. Usually you return when you want to do mathematics, when it's more of numbers. Okay, so name is, or should it be my name? Okay, let's do name as name, and age is age. Good. So you can have multiple parameters, and now let's try to call this function. So we say introduce like this, and we add a bracket, and now we need to satisfy the parameters with our arguments. So for name we put Daniel, and then for age, let's say I'm 50. Okay, and now we are going to run this, and then you can see, guys, we did not put this as an F string, so that didn't work. Now let's try again. Okay, good. So name is that. I'm going to leave this. So if it happens to you, it's normal. So name is Daniel and age is 50. Okay, so that's just showing us that you can have multiple parameters. And before we jump into what I want to talk about next, I want to show us something. Okay, so what if I'm a stubborn user and I put 50 here and I put the Daniel rather over here? Okay, and then I run. You can see that it says name is 50 and age is Daniel. Okay, that can happen because when we are doing things like this, it means we need to match the order. The order is very important. Okay, and I think that's part of why the creators of Python decided to call this arguments, because I mean it's arguable whose name is 50, well 50 cents, but you get the idea. Yes. So I'm going to teach us how we combat this. When we don't want this to happen, we use something we call keyword arguments. Okay, keyword arguments. So when we are doing this, I know this is the age, right? I'm going to say age equal to 50, and now I say name equal to Daniel. I'm specifying what I actually want to print out, okay, regardless of how I've placed it. And you can see we now have the correct thing. It says name is Daniel and then age is 50. Okay, good. So when you don't want things like this to happen, I mean, whichever one you want to use is totally fine, depending on your use case, depending on how you feel, depending on, yes, it's fine. But once again, I have to kind of show you that it exists. Okay, so whichever one you want to use is fine. There is no problem, but just be keeping everything in mind that the order matters. And if you don't want problems with order, you can just be using keyword argument.